Hi, welcome to Just Off the Highway. I'm Prodgers. We're in Pretoria and it's Jacaranda season. And behind this purple haze of flowers, there are some eccentric human stories I'd like to show you. Come on, let's go for a drive. So, first up, is it Pretoria or Tshwane or Pretoria Tshwane? Some local people say that Tshwane was the name chosen because so many people who live in this area have the surname Tshwane. A more reliable explanation is that the name is derived from a Sotho or Setswana word meaning a small ape. Now, this version is actually supported by the fact that the name of the river that flows right through the city is the Apis River, which means little monkeys or apes in Afrikaans. And this is it right here. And as you can see, the litter is in full bloom as well. Other sources claim that Tshwane is a Setswana word meaning we are the same. Personally, I'm confused. I do know that the names are extremely emotive and whichever one I use will upset somebody. But the fact is that Pretoria is still the official name of the central area of the larger Tshwane municipality. And it's in Pretoria that we're going to find the majority of places that we are visiting today. Speaking of names, this is Cilliers Street in Sunnyside. Now in 1888, a certain Mr. J.D. Cilliers bought 2 jacaranda trees that had been imported from Brazil. You see, they're not indigenous to South Africa. And he planted them at his home, one property further along at number 146. And one of those original trees is still standing, and it has a plaque commemorating it. But it's now a primary school, and we simply couldn't get permission to film there. So, one property on, this is as close as I get. Local legend has it that all the current trees are descended from those original 2. That's not accurate. There is documentary evidence that Cilliers ordered other seeds and planted them in the suburb of Groenkloof. Also, a different batch of seeds was imported by a man named James Clark. And in 1906, he donated hundreds of jacaranda saplings, which were planted in Bosman Street. Let's drive down Bosman. James Clark made such a huge contribution towards planting jacaranda trees in Pretoria that he actually got the nickname Jacaranda Jim. When he died, he was buried in the Heroes Acre Cemetery in Church Street, which is just up the road there. Come on, let's go. Historical record says that James Clark is buried somewhere here. Appropriately enough, he's under a jacaranda tree, and that his gravestone is actually marked Jacaranda Jim. And believe me, I have searched under every single tree, but I wasn't able to find the grave. Inscriptions have long ago worn off, brass lettering has disappeared. The layout might be documented somewhere, but as far as information that's available to the general public like me, I just couldn't find anything. So if he has no remaining headstone, I'm going to say that his beloved jacarandas, all of them together, will have to serve to mark his resting place. Now, once people came up with a nickname like Jacaranda Jim, it was too good to use only once. And around the same time, there was another man named Frank Jamison who worked for the city council. Over the years, he also saw to the planting of over 6,000 jacarandas. So he also became known as Jacaranda Jim. And he died in the same year as James Clark, 1956. And he too wanted to be buried under a jacaranda tree. And unfortunately, someone got it wrong, and he now rests under a stinkwood tree. But hey, at least he's not remembered as Stinkwood Jim. So far in this episode, it's been frustrating that I haven't been able to get you to the exact spots, places that you can really touch and see. Frank Jamison's resting place is in the Rebecca Street Cemetery in Pretoria West. So I'm going to try one more time. And at last, here is the grave of one of the two Jacaranda Jims, Frank Jacaranda Jim Jamison. And it looks like someone has actually been caring for this grave. Jacarandas last for more than 100 years. So at least his legacy will continue for a long time to come. Now there's one more stop on this journey just off the highway. And for a change of pace, I do actually know where to find what we're looking for. So in 1962, a Mr. Bruinslick, who was director of parks for the city, went to South America and imported a beautiful variant. Not the spectacular purple, but a delicate white jacaranda. And you'll find them in Herbert Baker Street in the Pretoria suburb of Groenkloof. And it's the only place in South Africa that you're ever likely to see them in any number. They're especially rare because in this country, for some reason, the white jacarandas are sterile. They can't produce seeds. And even if that wasn't the case, all jacarandas in South Africa have been classified as alien invader species. They're not water-wise, so they're illegal to plant. Still, there are now more than 60,000 in the city, but there will never be any more. It's November, and the jacarandas are in full bloom for only a few weeks every year. By the time that you watch this, it'll probably be over till next spring. But at least the blossoms will be back. The human connections to them, the places, the gravestones, the stories that give us roots, these are treasures that you have to maintain because once they're lost, they're just gone forever. If you've been enjoying Just Off the Highway and you agree that these stories are worth preserving, please do support this rolling road trip. All it takes is the price of a cup of coffee to help introduce these stories to the whole new internet generation. And you know, in the early years of Pretoria, the town planners intended it to be named the City of Roses. But I guess the jacarandas were simply more determined. And as you can see, attitude makes all the difference. Thanks for watching Just Off the Highway. I'm Prodgers.